This week, we talk about a ton of new Marvel rumors and news. We talk about the second wave of all those leaked photos from the Superman movie. We keep talking about Star Wars The Acolyte and a bunch of other series that have recently come out. And we even get a really cool shout out from our favorite mutant professor. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger!
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week we are coming together to talk about some of the fun stuff that's been going on out there. But as usual, before we jump into all that, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
This week I've been nerding out about free comic book day books.
Nice.
Billy was nice enough to get me the ones that I couldn't get because I couldn't go. And yeah, I recommend the Transformers one. It's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a good selection this year. That was a good one. I'm nerding out about this past weekend in Kansas City. There was the Crypticon event, and it's bittersweet because this is kind of the last con for a little while. I know we have KC Retro coming up next month, but this is the last con where I can, meet some voice actors and actors and things like that. And anyway, it was a whole lot of fun. My highlight was definitely getting to meet Ross Marquand, who you probably know him as Aaron from The Walking Dead, but he also provides a lot of voices in Marvel. He was Professor Xavier in X-Men 97. He was Ultron and Red Skull in What If. He was live-action Red Skull in Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. I think we talked about that last week a little bit, but he did a really cool message for my students and for the Taylorverse, and I'll throw that in here.
Greetings to everyone in Mr. Taylor's class. Welcome to the Taylorverse. This is Professor Charles Xavier, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Taylor. I understand you've been reviewing all of these wonderful projects in class, and I wish you all a great day, and listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. To me, my X-Men.
But yeah, that event was a lot of fun, and I got to meet Clint Howard. That was kind of cool. We kind of talked about, when I was looking through his photos for an autograph, I picked one from his character when he was in Solo, the Star Wars story movie. And we got to talking about space stuff. He just started talking about Star Wars and Star Trek, and I told him that's something I enjoyed with my dad, who I lost last year, and he said he just recently lost his dad too, and we just talked about that for 15 minutes. It was kind of cool, and there were a lot of cool other people there. Got some Funko Pops signed. Ross Marquand signed my Infinity Ultron from What If with a purple pen. It looks really cool, and I had a Gremlins Funko Pop signed by Zach Galligan, who played the main kid, Billy, in Gremlins, and also the director of Gremlins signed it. And I'm not really much of a horror guy, but as I was walking through on the final day, the guy that played Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies was yelling out, "Sunday deal, Sunday deal. Get an autograph and you can pick a photo or a Funko Pop." He's like, heck, you can pick both, all for the one price. And I didn't have a Leatherface Funko Pop, but the guy was giving it out with his autograph. So I said, you know what, I'll take it.
Dang, I have a Leatherface.
Oh, nice.
It's the one where he was wearing he has like a yellow chainsaw?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if they've made any other ones. It might just be the only one they have, but I definitely have that one.
But yeah, the event was fun and got a few Funko Pops signed, got that cool message, and I like I said earlier, I'm a little bummed out. There's not another con with some of these guests like this until next March, so bittersweet, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into the news for this week. There's a lot going on with Marvel and DC. With Marvel, we know that we've got that Venom movie coming out pretty soon, Venom: The Last Dance, and from some stuff I was reading, it sounds like in this movie, we're not going to get the character Null, but Null will be name dropped by one of the symbiote characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
I don't know. And I wonder, is this going to be a trilogy or is it going to lead to more things, or who knows what that means? Maybe they just mentioned their leader. I don't know. But speaking of name drops, it sounds like Spider-Man is finally going to be name dropped in one of these movies, and it's going to be in Kraven the Hunter. He's going to be mentioned, but not show up, is what I read.
Okay.
Yeah. Sony, man, I'm telling you.
They really just don't. I don't know.
On the brighter side of Marvel, it sounds like the Wonder Man series and the Ironheart series both recently wrapped up filming. So they're going to be, putting a bow on those things and getting those out there in the next year or so.
That'll be good.
Yeah. And the Wonder Man, someone was describing it and said it's going to kind of be a horror comedy. And I don't know what that means, but throwing some scary stuff and some jokes, I guess. I don't know.
Like horror comedy? Like what? Scary movie? Like what are we talking here?
I don't know. I wonder if it's going to have a lot of jump scares, is where the horror part comes in, and then maybe just the main character's humorous. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know. I remember them saying that this last Doctor Strange movie was supposed to have a ton of horror, like scary moments in it, but it totally didn't. So
yeah. Maybe horror to children, but not to people who watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of info about the Thunderbolts movie. We know that the character Sentry is going to be in there, and I was reading through someone describing things from this movie, and they described Sentry as an unstable Superman type character, but he still has a no-kill rule, which makes things interesting. I know you're a much more avid reader of Marvel than me. Does that sound like Sentry in the comics?
The thing about Sentry is, like, he's, like, just mentally unstable, period.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not... Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they're even putting the character in movies at all, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
It's a character that's kind of, like, in concept is really cool, but, like, they couldn't even keep him in the Marvel Universe for, like, a super long amount of time when he was in it, just because it just doesn't... I don't know. In my opinion, he fits very loosely in there.
Yeah. But we know that movie's wrapped and it's going to be premiering in the next year or so.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. I have the almost original full run of Thunderbolts. Like, it was my favorite book during Dark Reign.
Oh,
I
nice.
think was Thunderbolts and Secret Warriors, and New Avengers. Those were my three favorite books during Dark Reign. And I'm very excited. I'm interested about the team that they're using.
Yeah.
Because they're characters that are in the MCU, but not necessarily characters that are used in the books at all. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see the variations they make from book to screen.
Yeah.
And some people get so mad about it, but to me it's like it's got to fit into this world they've already created, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think people just expect them to make a shot-for-shot remake of comics, but that doesn't work because you don't have the years and years of backstory, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to do a lot of setup. There's a lot of setup for Thunderbolts. I mean, if you think about it, if you want to do the original team, first you got to make the Masters of Evil and make them like a thing for a while, you know, and then they try to take over as the Thunderbolts, pretend like they're heroes, so they get all new names, and then the Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, and the Fantastic Four have to leave the time stream for a while. Like, it's just a lot. To make it like the book, there's so much setup for that book. So this version of it, I can see how it's just, they do it more like a government ran thing to begin with and skip the whole like first generation of Thunderbolt stuff.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Another thing I just read is that the character Dormammu from Doctor Strange is going to be showing back up in an upcoming project. It didn't really say TV, movie, when, how long the character would be there, but it just said he's going to show back up at some point. So I wonder, I don't know, he had that truce with Doctor Strange. Is something going to break it?
I'd be surprised if it wasn't in the next Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where else would you put him in?
Yeah, that's a good point. Unless it's somehow brought in with some of that Secret Wars stuff and they're trying to pull out some powerful stops here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would be the best idea.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
So this past week, we got a new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. Did you get a chance to see that one?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
It brought in Sabretooth, and we see that they're going with the original X-Men 1 movie, Sabretooth, not the one from the Origins Wolverine movie.
Yeah, I found that kind of odd. I'm not going to lie. Probably because they couldn't get Lee Shriver.
Yeah, probably.
To be honest. I mean, I'm sure he looks back on that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie and it's a stinker. You know, he knows it is. I'm sure not everyone is that. He didn't get quite much of a redemption arc, even though he was like the best thing in that movie.
Yeah. Well, that movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, is less than 3 weeks away, which has got me a little giddy.
Oh, wow. Is it really?
Yeah. And they've started doing premieres all around the world. The first one they did this past weekend was over in Asia. And the fans in that area got to see about, I think they said 38 minutes of the movie, which is not obviously the whole movie.
Yeah.
But a lot of things are starting to spill out there, and they're keeping a tight lid on it, but there's a lot of rumors coming out now, and this could be rumors, this could be leaks, who knows, but there's some big rumors about certain Avengers that show up, and obviously, spoiler alert, if this becomes true, it could just be big rumors people have thrown out there, but the big one that they showed was Hulk might show up in this movie.
Really?
I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. If he gets to fight Wolverine.
Yeah.
People have been wanting that forever.
Oh, yeah. And then some other stuff out there having nothing to do with Deadpool and Wolverine. There's another rumor out there that the actor George Clooney is in talks right now to show up in the MCU as a character that they did not disclose. So I started to think, who could he be? Who could George Clooney be in the MCU?
MCU, let me think. I'm going to assume it's a villain.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just because every time they get like a big celebrity like that, it's usually just either a villain part or a side part.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's a heck of a A-list celebrity.
Yeah. Probably just make him some politician or something.
Yeah, that would suck. You know what? I don't even know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I like how, for the most part, most of the big characters in the MCU started off as lesser-known people, and now they're majorly famous because of the MCU, but when they do that, it helps you kind of see the character, not, George Clooney being the character, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be... Did they recast... I know they're recasting Kang. Did that actually get recast?
I read that he's going to be recast when we get that 5th Avengers movie, but I don't know. They haven't said who it's going to be or anything like that.
Oh. Somebody told me it was like going to be Denzel, and I was like, I would not mind that.
One of the rumors I heard was Denzel Washington's son, John David Washington.
Oh.
Because he's about the same age as Jonathan Majors. Yeah, who knows?
That's interesting.
There's another rumor floating around that, contrary to stuff that's been said in the past few weeks, that Luke Cage and Danny Rand will show up in the Daredevil Born Again series, and they're not going to be recast. It's going to be the same actors from the Netflix series.
Can we recast Iron Fist, please?
Right. According to these rumors, it's going to be those same couple of guys.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see if that comes to be. Oh, there's another rumor that we're going to get a project centering around Agent Woo from, WandaVision and Ant-Man. I think I would enjoy something like that. I'm sure it could be kind of a humorous thing and show different things from all around the MCU from his agent point of view. I feel like I would like that.
Yeah.
I always think back to, I cannot think of the name of that show for the life of me, but it was a news agency show centering in the DC universe, and it had Alan Tudyk and Vanessa Hudgens.
It had the Abed character.
Yeah.
Was it Powerless?
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. I can see a show kind of like that in the MCU with Agent Woo, except a little bit more meat on its bones than Powerless had, but I feel like I would like that.
Yeah.
So recently, we've talked a lot about the Fantastic Four movie, and we've talked about how it's going to be mostly in space and things like that. And we talked about rumors that it's going to be, not the main Earth. But there was a recent interview where Kevin Feige was interviewed and asked about it. And he just basically straight up said, this reboot of the Fantastic Four does take place on a parallel Earth, not our main Earth. So that's been confirmed by the man himself.
Okay.
I'm wondering, knowing that it's part of the MCU, where that's going to tie in. And I saw a different article that kind of gave a little bit of an idea. And this article was rumors, but it said that this movie could be kind of a, what's the word they used? I can't think of the word they used, but kind of a sort of sequel to the Marvels movie, which didn't make sense. But when I started thinking about it, what if, being in outer space, seeing a rift in the galaxy, seeing a different parallel universe at the end of that movie, maybe that's where the connection would tie in and have kind of nothing to do, obviously, with the Marvels, but the fact that it had that rip in the universe to see a parallel universe, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
I also read that we are going to get a Moon Knight season 2, but this time it's going to take place primarily in New York instead of all over the world, kind of like the other one did. And it's also going to be what leads up to a Midnight Suns movie or series.
Wait, what will lead up to it?
Moon Knight season 2.
Okay. I didn't think that was even going to happen.
We haven't heard anything other than rumors, and then this kind of comes out.
Goodness.
Yeah. I also just saw that X-Men 97, we obviously know that that's been greenlit for several more seasons because of how popular and great it did. But season 2 is going to have a summer 2025 release. So got a little bit of waiting to do, about a year before we get more of that.
Boo.
And then, okay, side note, getting to meet Ross Marquand this past weekend, he asked me, how much did you like X-Men 97? And, I was like gushing over it, like, oh my gosh, it was so good. He said, I'm not going to say much, but if you thought season 1 was brutal, season 2, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Jeez.
I was like, oh man. So yeah, that's gonna be brutal if it's worse than season 1.
No joke.
And the final thing with Marvel here's a list of some upcoming Disney Plus series that are in development right now. And some of these things I've heard, and some of these things I have not. But we have Nova, Blonde Phantom, The Punisher, Wiccan, White Tiger, and Strange Tales. And those are confirmed Disney Plus series that are in early development right now.
What was that first one? Gold what?
After Nova, it was Blonde Phantom, and I have no idea what that is, but it was on the list.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Blonde Phantom.
Strange Tales sounds kind of interesting. I wonder if it'll do things like Man-Thing and other things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blonde Phantom.
What's it called? Blonde what?
Blonde Phantom.
Blonde Phantom. Marvel. Oh, she's like a crime fighter.
Okay.
Like
a noir.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I never heard of this character.
I've never heard of this character either. I just looked her up. She's old, like golden age, it looks like.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. Maybe it'll be a period piece.
Maybe.
Well, over with DC, man, all those photo leaks from last week, they've leaked even more this week. We got our first look at Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Have you seen any of those photos yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, he's got the blonde bowl cut and everything, man. The reddish blonde. It's kind of crazy, and I love it.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh my gosh. I'm very surprised.
Right? They didn't semi-modernize it.
No.
But in these set photos, we also see Hawk Girl for the first time. We see Mr. Terrific, not for the first time. And there's a character wearing a blue suit, which leads me to believe that there's going to be some kind of CGI version of something. And the rumor that I'm reading is that it's Metamorpho, which would be kind of awesome.
Oh, that would be cool.
And everything that I'm reading is saying that these characters are sort of just slightly more than cameos. They're not a major part of this movie. It just establishes the fact that this is a world that already has heroes. This is not an origin story. So we get to see these characters, but they're not the bulk of this movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing Nathan Fillion with the hair, man, it was cracking me up. People were freaking out about the suit that he's wearing is all white, but it's going to be CGI affected, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, someone pointed out the Maxwell Lord logo on his chest, Nathan Fillion's, as well as Mr. Terrific's chest. And someone says that there's a rumor going around that some of these heroes are have been corporatized, bought by corporate, big corporations, and
yeah.
Superman's not having it. So, yeah, we'll see what that means.
I wonder if we'll get like a Kingdom Come thing where it's like corporate, entities and things like that versus like old school stuff.
Yeah.
Heroing.
It's funny you said that. James Gunn recently tweeted a picture of Kingdom Come with no words or anything. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that'd be interesting to see if that's just because or if that has meaning to it.
Yeah. Well, usually when he posts something, it usually has something to do with something.
Yeah. Other set photos showed Lois and Clark flying, which were cool. And the big kind of thing that had people freaking out on the internet was yesterday they posted a leaked photo of Superman with kind of a news anchor with a microphone. And the guy playing the news anchor is Will Reeve, the son of Christopher Reeve, who is a real life news anchor. He's on Good Morning America and he's on ESPN. So Christopher Reeve's son is going to play a news anchor in this new Superman movie, and I think that's cool.
Is it still called Legacy?
I think it was going to be Superman Legacy, but I think they've just changed it to straight up just Superman.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that's super cool that Christopher Reeve's son's going to be in it, and it's funny, if you look at that dude, he looks a lot like his dad. It would have been crazy if there's a universe out there in the multiverse where he played a version of Superman. The final thing with DC this week is it sounds like Robert Pattinson will show up as Batman. Not a big part, but he will show up as Batman in this new Penguin series.
Oh.
Which makes sense. It's kind of hard to...
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like all the things that don't put that main character and try to make a cool series or movie without that main character at least showing up, they don't always do well. So I'm glad that he's being thrown in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're recording a day later than normal because of some scheduling stuff, which means I've had a chance to watch the last 2 episodes of Star Wars The Acolyte. Have you seen the latest one?
I have not.
Okay, well, that show, it's getting really interesting. We're learning that there's something nefarious going on, and this most recent episode, I won't get too spoilery, but it's making it seem like that Sith guy... Maybe he's not as bad as he seems. The stuff he's saying doesn't sound evil. And then it's making it seem like the Jedi characters have something dark and nefarious going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And it kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. You feel like you're about to learn some stuff and then boom, credits. So that show it's getting better to me. I have not hated it one bit this whole time. To me, it was just like, oh, okay, cool, Star Wars, more Star Wars. But this final episode, the latest episode, made me like, ooh, okay, I want more now. I really want some more. So
yeah, the last episode was the one that I watched where they find out it's the guy.
Yes.
We thought it was.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Well, you're going to like the next one, and then you're going to really want some more when the credits start rolling.
So I'm only one behind then?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The latest one just came out last night.
Last night,
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was 2 behind or 1 behind.
Gotcha. The last thing I have about Star Wars is that there's some rumors that Sydney Sweeney will be showing up in an upcoming Star Wars project, which it sounds like everyone wants to put her in all their projects.
Yeah, well, she's a hot commodity right now, that's for sure.
Yeah. She was in some recent comedy. I cannot think of the name of it, but it was really funny. Elsewhere out there in the pop culture universe, The Boys. Are you caught up on The Boys yet?
I am.
So episode 5, this is the one after Homelander goes berserk on his former captors, if you will. I don't know.
Yeah.
This episode was kind of hilarious because that scientist who accidentally had some of that temp V fall into the water supply and it started affecting all those farm animals.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
It was.
I wonder, at the end we see that, Butcher secretly kidnapped that scientist guy, and I do wonder if that's going to backfire, or if they're going to recreate that virus and get it to Homelander, or if, more like our theory from last week, his son's going to have to finally be who puts him down when the series ends.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a thing.
I know in the books, it's Black Noir who winds up, first of all, being a clone of Homelander, and then he has to help put him down or something like that. Something like that. I haven't read the whole series. I've only read a couple of them. I just kind of went through a internet deep dive of the plot of the comics. Have you read many of The Boys?
You know what? I actually own a couple of issues and never finished it.
Yeah. It sounds like the Black Noir character is a complete different version of the character than the comics. Because in the comics, he's a clone of Homelander that kind of had some brain damage. And in this, he's not. Interesting fact, though, Black Noir died in the last season because Homelander killed him. And then they have this new Black Noir in the new season just to save face and appear that Black Noir is still part of the team.
Yeah.
But funny enough, the guy in the suit is the same actor that was in the suit all those other seasons. So that's kind of cool. He still has the job. Yeah.
That's funny.
House of the Dragon continues to be good. This one had a lot of plot twists, and anyone who's a fan of Game of Thrones and you're missing your dragons and tea being spilled and fighting and I don't know, all that crazy stuff, it's worth a watch for sure.
Do you think it's better or worse than Game at this point?
I don't know if I'd say, I definitely wouldn't say better, but I don't know if I'd say worse. I just feel like it's just another chapter, if that makes sense.
Fair.
And obviously it's a prequel in the past. It's got Matt Smith in it, and I love the dude. I think I've loved everything he's been in. I can't say I loved Morbius, but I do like Matt Smith.
I thought he was absolutely awful in that movie. But I think it probably was just writing.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, one thing I forgot back in the DC stuff. Did you see that there's going to be a new Kite Man animated series coming out on July 18th on Max, and it's a spin-off from the Harley Quinn series.
Okay.
Yeah. That character's pretty funny in the Harley Quinn show, so I'm wondering what they're going to do in this series. I'm also wondering if it's going to be a one-hit wonder, get one season, and kind of fall off the radar.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they did like the whole like Kite Man, like Joker, Riddler war thing.
Yeah. Okay, this one threw me because I had no idea it was even coming, but did you know there's a new Hellboy movie coming out?
No.
It's called Hellboy the Crooked Man, and it's kind of a prequel. It's a period piece from around 100 years ago is what it sounded like, and it's being played by another actor, so the third actor to portray this character. His name's Jack Kesey. I don't really know much about the guy. He was in the 2017 Baywatch movie.
Okay.
There's no details, but they put a photo up online, and he looks good. But yeah, this wasn't even on my radar at all, but there's a new Hellboy movie coming out. Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Interesting.
This one was crazy, especially since we both started kind of rewatching My Hero Academia. But there's a live action My Hero Academia coming to Netflix. Did you see that announcement?
No.
Yeah, Netflix just announced it a couple of days ago.
What?
Yeah.
Why would it be coming to Netflix?
I have no idea.
That doesn't even make any sense. I don't get that. I truly don't understand.
I guess just like the One Piece series, Netflix made the live action One Piece.
Yeah, but isn't One Piece actually on Netflix though?
I think
like the cartoon.
I don't know. I know it's on Hulu. I don't know. But yeah, live action My Hero Academia. Hopefully they do it justice because I'm really liking that show. Oliver and I just watched the movie, the one called The Two Heroes or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we started season 3. It's just so good. It's slowly becoming top favorite anime to me. It's in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
And the final bit of news I have here for this week is the Highlander reboot starring Henry Cavill begins filming this January in Scotland. And yeah, I really like the Highlander movies and series from back in the days. And I feel like Henry Cavill totally has the look for it. So I can't wait to see what they do with that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
But that's about all the news for the week. There's not a lot locally going on right now. Yeah, next month in August, we have KC Retro, which will have some news to come about that. Your boys will be there, and that'll be a lot of fun. But as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
Bye.
Bye.